it seems like everybody in this business has some serious demons that they've been wrestling with. How do you deal with your demons?
There's been a couple times where I had to take time off because you get to a really dark place. And I was glad that I did. For me, I started realizing that I'm not afraid of anyone attitude was carrying over into my personal life. And that I couldn't go to bars and clubs without posting up and finding the problems. And neither could any of my friends.
Do that. I still do
that's
that.
really, honestly, after spending night at fucking 850 Bryant, and remember, a month before that I spent a night in the jail at Oakland for my motorcycle speeding from Livermore.
Oh, yeah.
And so, there was that. A month later, there was this, and I kind of had I guess it's called a come to Jesus moment. I was like, what am I doing with my life? I'm not these guys, right? I'm watching a junkie gangbanger come down, right, in a glass cell in front of me. I'm like, I'm not him. Near as I can tell, nobody here, me and that, we have nothing to do with each other, you know? And so that was like, at a point, I was like, you got to pay me much more. And that's why private security was always more of a thing. Like when Mehdi said, want to help. Yeah. I was into that idea. Turns out I'm not that kind of guy. I think that, you got to be top of your game to be those dudes. And it takes a lot of energy to be that guy. But, I ended up getting to a place where I was finding myself in fights on the street, in other bars and clubs. I tend to go out with all my bouncer buddies. So all of us kind of did the same thing. Look at that motherfucker over there. Yeah. Right? Look at that woman we don't know he's talking to. I got a problem with what he's doing. Right? Let's just shoulder check him, see what happens. We can find a fight if we need to. Yeah. But it was also because you were in that headspace. Yeah. You weren't afraid of fighting. You definitely, and I think largely, I joke that we were all mama's boys, but I think largely we thought we were doing good. Right. So sometimes you can get out of hand. Right. Yeah. My dad, when I was a little kid, I remember crossing Visadero at 24th, and I was lollygagging across the street. And my dad was walking ahead of me fast, like a city guy, because his car's coming, and get the fuck out of the intersection. My dad's from the Bronx, right? So you cross the street, you avoid the cars, you look for the cars, because the cars can fucking hit you and kill you, right? Like that kind of headspace. Yeah. So I'm lollygagging. My dad comes back out into the street, hurried, because there's a car waiting for me. And I'm gonna say cups me by the back of the head. It was one of those like, hand meets my head and just keeps it going, yeah. Got me to the curb, and he's like, look, man, you gotta fucking move faster than that. And I'm like, oh, Dad, you hit me in the head. And he's like, look, there's two kinds of people in this world. There's some people that can learn from a little thing like a smack to the back of the head, and there's some people that take a 2x4 to the head to learn a lesson. Which one are you? Seriously, at the corner of 24th and Divisadero, my dad said that to me young. And I've always felt if you continue that kind of logic, there are people that will do things in the club. If you beat them hard enough, they'll think twice about doing it again. Mm-hmm. You may not like me for what I just did to you, but I bet you, as your jaw doesn't stop hurting for a week, as all your tendons are really stretched out of place in a certain specific spot, after all that bruising or everything, you guys sit there for a week, that notion's probably not going to go, that's a good idea anymore, right? So sometimes you could beat the sense into people, and that's a scary thought. And so when you get into that headspace, you get very fearless, and you can carry that kind of logic, like, I'm going to teach this guy a lesson with my fist. That's when I had to pull out, and then that's when I had to go do something a little bit more lighter. No one likes the bouncer. It sucks. Out of everybody in the club, no one likes the bouncer.
Not if you're doing your job correctly.
Yeah. If I'm talking to you, we got a problem. Right, yeah. So,
if you're doing your job.
If you're a bartender, everybody loves you. And you make 5 times the money. If you're going to get into the industry, be a bartender. Sorry, man. That's not a great lesson for bouncing.
No, it's true, but it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier.
And I will say, bouncing changed me for the better. It told me how to stick up for myself, how to find some inner strength, Like I said.
I was bouncing. I started bouncing at the Mallard, and then I was like in line at Great America.
At the Mallard for a while.
At Great America, and some girl was just trying to cut, and I was like, no. And like normally I went, oh, yeah, whatever. Like, but no. Like, no. I can do this all day. I've been training in this.
And I will say some of that, like, no nonsense stuff and having that fearless that, you see it on Facebook. I'll talk to people on the street kind of harshly.
Man,
I don't give a fuck.
No.
And I probably should these day and age because, you just never know who's the psycho guy. But again, like I said, I like to read it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just.
I can definitely say that me having a martial arts school down the street from here in West Oakland and being able to deal with all of the stuff that I've got to deal with, people coming in wanting to challenge me, people wanting to sell drugs in front of the gym, all kinds of stuff, that my bouncing helped out a shitload and allowed me to deal with people in that kind of situation. A shitload.
It taught me how to be more of a man, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I was kind of a whiny little, brat, and I had no real anything. But it was fun. It was rewarding. And when you get that kind of camaraderie in a big scene like that, and you have that party every weekend, it was fun. A lot of it was really. I've got a very romantic image of those days. I feel very lucky that we get to live to tell the tale, though. I think there are a lot of us that didn't make it. There's a lot of us that spiraled out of control. That was the other thing.
Yeah, to themselves.
I had to get out a lot. Yeah, that really.
Choices.
And then you see friends over the course of 10, 20 years that don't change or get worse. I saw a SF State University professor go from, button-up plaids, correcting papers at my bar, to sneaking in and stealing a free burger from the bar snacks and flip-flops, old surf shorts, and a tank top. That's all that was the outfit. And you get, again, a dark place where you just watch all your friends just tear themselves to pieces. And real obvious shit. But unfortunately, when you drink that much, it kind of, some stuff that's very obvious becomes very cloudy.
Yeah.
And you just don't see it from when you're inside until you leave and you look back and you go. And like I said, I have very romantic visions of all my drinking and partying and fighting and camaraderie and the women and the music and all that, and the privilege and the kind of being one of the cool kids. But yeah, you get to a place where you watch your friends and they don't know that they're just destroying themselves. It's like when you see your friends in a bad relationship with the girl, right? Like, buddy, you gotta get out of that relationship. Hey, fuck you, don't talk that way about my girlfriend.
Working through a little thing. That's pretty cool. I know it's a little rough right now, but
I guess I'm not bringing that up.
So yeah, but yeah, it's crazy.
Hey, Rich, thanks so much for coming in.
Yeah,
I think we're going to do this again and get some more stories.
That'd be great. Yeah, I got plenty of good stories. They were fun days. The hard part's just remembering them.
At least you can remember something.
They tell me it was amazing.
Yeah,
all right, it was fun.
Thanks.
Awesome. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Rich.
Yeah, right on. My pleasure.